Hello, everybody, for an audio edition of Voice of Reason. This is Jake Schwartz. 68-57, the final score here at the Haverford School. Friends Central goes out in style and goes to a 6-4 record, led by DeAndre Hunter. The future UVA Cavalier scores a game high of 35 points. Chucky Champion right behind him with 20, one of three players in double figures. Karan Randolph led the way for the Fords, who now drop, unfortunately, to 5-4 on the year with 19 points. Haverford School will head to the Wildwood play in the Boardwalk Classic at Wildwood, New Jersey on December 23rd. And for Friends Central, they can relax. They get themselves ready for Plymouth Whitemarsh in the Scholastic Play-by-Play's Pete and Jameer Nelson Classic, 8:45, 1 week from tomorrow. They'll also play Abington in Chestnut Hill as part of the Jameer and Pete Nelson Classic. And whereas we'll hopefully talk with Chucky Champion DeAndre right after this, in an audio edition of Voice of Reason, I'm Jake Schwartz, serving the high school and college basketball world for the tri-state area. Back here at the Haverford School for another audio edition of Voice of Reason. Welcome back to Voice of Reason from Friends Central, DeAndre Hunter and Chucky Champion. Gentlemen, welcome back, and great to see both of you again. Nice win today. And we're going to start with the franchise. I still think he's the franchise. DeAndre Hunter, 35, a game high. What a nice win for Friends Central today, especially after that tough loss out in North Carolina against New Garden Friends. That is who you played, right?
Yeah.
Well, whatever the schedule says, seems like everybody's messing me up with the schedule. So why don't you tell me, since you're on the team, why don't you tell me who you last played in North Carolina?
We played New Garden Friends.
You did play New Garden Friends, and you lost in that game, right?
Yeah, lost by 7.
Okay, so that was at least a good game. So how nice of a rebound is this from North Carolina playing a tough team like Haverford School?
Like you said, they're a tough team, and we just came out and played strong for 4 quarters, so it's good to get that bounce-back win.
That third quarter really got to you a little. 3 consecutive fouls. Just talk about what Coach Tozer said to you when you sat down.
He just said keep my composure. I tried to cheer my teammates on as much as possible so they can go out there and get the win. So once I got back in, I just did my thing.
This gentleman on the left, or I should say on my left and your right, 20 points of his own. That's Chucky Champion. What a performance he had today.
Yeah, he's a great player, man. He's really underrated in the city for sure.
Got a lot of talent on this team. Really, it just seems like you've been more of a teacher, because it only seems like yesterday when you were just a freshman learning under the wings of a guy like Emil Jefferson, now it seems like you're tutoring the next big thing at Friends Central, and that's Miles Robinson. What type of player can we expect him to be?
In 4 years, he's going to be a really good player.
Like he could end up being a Division I guy like you? I can absolutely see that, though, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You're off at least until after the holidays. You've got Plymouth Whitemarsh and Xavier Malone, your old AAU teammate, coming in on Tuesday at Widener University. Tell us about what that's going to be like and what type of reunion you can expect between the two of you.
It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great environment. It's a late-night game, so we're just going to try to go out there and get the W.
It's the game after, by the way, Chester and Imhotep, but we're looking forward to that no matter what. That's 8:45. Chester, or I should say 8:45. DeAndre Hunter and his team plays against Plymouth Whitemarsh. DeAndre, thank you. Chucky, good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you too.
Always a pleasure when I get to see you. I've known you since your days at Arbor. Welcome back to Voice of Reason. I had you on just a few weeks ago. You were telling me about how excited you were for the season, and that you really, I think when I was talking to you, correct me if I'm wrong, but you had only played about, 1 or 2 games, I think about?
Yeah, I think we only played 1-2 games at that point.
Well, how's that been going really ever since? Because it does seem like this team is really moving in the right direction again.
It feels pretty good. We had a couple tough losses recently, but I think we bounced back at this Haverford win. Great interact team, and it's nice to get the team moving forward.
Karan Randolph, what a performance he had today with 19 points. And really, it just seemed like, you were matched up with people like him as well as Micah Sims. But Joe DiGnazio, who I know you know through AAU basketball, was the one who had to be matched up on DeAndre. He did a pretty decent job, actually, on him, despite the fact that DeAndre gave Jack Marshall, another very talented player, over 30 points.
Yeah, for sure. I think they both played pretty well. Yeah, pretty good performances. I think we played better a little bit.
Yes.
I
would probably agree. I would probably have to say that's why you won the basketball game. But let's talk about this team again, because for years there's been some great there's been some great tradition that's been going on here at Friends Central, from the Hakeem Warwick and Mustafa Shakur days to the even Jason Polikoff and Ryan Tozer days to the Emil Jefferson and Karan Davis days. Now it kind of seems like this is the DeAndre Hunter and Chucky Champion days. What do you say about that? See, it kind of seems like this is going on from one generation to the next, right?
It feels great to be part of the legacy, I guess, and try to keep it going and future legacy to come.
Well, I mentioned this to DeAndre, and I'll ask you this question. Xavier Malone comes into, I should say, Widener University. You'll play PW on Tuesday. That will be your next game, so you'll have about 8 days off to kind of get ready and sort of enjoy a nice Christmas dinner before you get back to work again and get ready for next Tuesday. You'll also play Abington, another school I know you're very familiar with your LaSalle days. What do you need to do really to ring in 2015 within the next 9 or 10 days from now?
I think we need to get 2 W's.
Well, by 2 W's, I mean, what do you feel like you need to do? How can you get better? How must you get better?
Me personally?
Well, I mean, just you personally as well as your team.
I think we can got to keep playing hard, keep moving the ball, trying to get good shots, play aggressive, good defense, and try to hold teams at like under 50 points.
I've asked you this a bunch of times, being that you are the cousin of Raja Bell. Did I see Raja on the court today? Because you almost shot similar to him. You had a couple of those jump shots. We were almost reminiscent of him today.
Yeah, a little bit.
I still think I'm a better athlete than you. I don't care. No, I'm only teasing. Chucky, always good to see you, my friend. Chucky Champion and DeAndre Hunter joining us, and some of the old players again. Stephen Falwell, who always looks sharp. Looks like the Voice, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, I had to get on your case about the whole Bob Falwell thing. Thank you, Chucky Champion, and thank you, DeAndre Hunter, and thank you all again for tuning in here today. Our final thoughts: we'll go back upstairs, 68-57. The Haverford School loses. Friends Central with a big win goes to 6-4 on the year. This is another presentation of Voice of Reason. I'm Jake Schwartz. Hello, everybody. Back upstairs here at the Haverford School for the 2015 audio edition of Voice of Reason. This is Jake Schwartz. 68-57 is the final score. Friends Central now at 6-4. They're off until after the Christmas, or I should say after Christmas. They will go up against both Plymouth Whitemarsh and Abington. With the win today, they snapped their one-game losing streak, losing by 7 to the New Garden Friends team. Our player of the game, no doubt in my mind, with a game high of 38 points, DeAndre Hunter. They also get 20 from Chucky Champion and 10 from Anton Walker. Haverford School is on the road once again. They're going to have a very tough matchup. They'll play in the Wildwoods Boardwalk Tournament, the Wildwoods Convention Center. They were led today by Karan Ranoff, and they dropped to 5-4 on the year. Don't forget to join us this week for more exciting high school basketball action. We'll let you know where we're going to be when we get there, but until then, from all of us, the audio edition of Voice of Reason, I'm Jake Schwartz. We'll see you at the games.